is all I'm going to say about the Mike Tyson and the show host that disrespected him. Before we even get into it, let me just say this. I guarantee you Mike Tyson didn't rape anybody. Kobe Bryant didn't rape anybody. Who's the other guy? Didn't rape anybody. They don't have to rape women. But if you go to court as a black man, you're gonna lose. I don't care if she's the biggest slut in town with a credit card swipe on her butt crack. You're gonna lose as a black man. And you know who I'm talking to. Of course, if you follow the cases, you know that these women were sluts and whores, but they went to court. And in court, these sluts and whores become Mother Teresa. But that's none of my business. But then the host throws out a statement like, since you're a convicted rapist, to Mike Tyson. I don't know how long ago that the court case was, but it was a pretty damn long time ago. And he wasn't even supposed to be talking about that. He was supposed to be talking about Mike Tyson's one-man show. Mike Tyson, of course, probably went to elocution classes and diction classes and all sorts of stuff. I've seen clips of his one-man show, and he's pretty good. It's actually been heralded as a hit, and he's on tour during the show. A black man can be wrongfully convicted of child molestation. He probably wasn't even in the room with the child, but when he got to court, he was convicted. Then 100 years later say, well, since you're a convicted child molester, 100 years later, he could have turned water into wine all that time, right? He could have fed the hungry. He could have visited the widows, comforted the sick. But 100 years later, somebody's going to say, well, since you're a convicted child murderer, child molester, wasn't even in the same room with the child, wasn't even in the same house, wasn't even in the same city. But when you go to court, you get convicted anyway. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I know some white people. I read all sorts of forums and when I do my research, well, those Negroes, they're violent. It says so in the FBI files. When you have an arrest, understand me, an arrest percentage of 9-1, it doesn't matter what the FBI file says. When you have an arrest, when you have a police force that sits on the doorstep of black people and just arrest it. And I've already told you about police who have given lectures who said, I can arrest you on anything. I can even make up stuff. And when it goes to court, you're a child molesting, rapist, wife abuser, and it'll stick. Not a piece of forensic evidence anywhere. It'll stick. Tell me about some FBI file says so. The FBI category so, the FBI report says so. It said so. Black people are violent. They get all the convictions. No, they get all the arrests. I had the picture in one of my videos. It says, just because I'm in jail does not mean I'm guilty. They released 25% of the prisoners as not guilty when they tried to apply forensic DNA evidence to their cases. They were not there at the scene of the crime. No DNA evidence was found of theirs. 25%. Now, do you think, and they said that they're still going through the cases. It's taken a bit of time, isn't it? You heard about these two, what's the word? retarded black guys. They're not disabled. What's the word? I'll just say retarded. Everybody knows retarded, right? I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm sorry. We're black people. We're not politically correct. We say what we actually mean. 2 retarded black people. 1 15 years old. Understand this. 1 19 years old that lived 10 miles away from the victim were coerced into signing a confession. The 19-year-old said he had so much pressure he'd never had before in his life to sign a confession. A confession. He didn't even write the confession because he couldn't write. The policeman wrote the confession and he signed it. And after he signed it, he said, "Can I go home now?" Who says that? Who says, "Can I go home now?" after you've signed a confession? A retarded person says that. A person not in control of their mind. Somebody who does not know what is going on. Then they went to his half-brother, 15-year-old, and said, "Your brother just signed a confession. If you don't sign the confession, we will hang you." To a 15-year-old retarded kid. He too signed a confession. They were in jail for 30 years. Now get this. They have the confession. A week later, a man gets arrested for raping and murdering a white girl that lived a block away from the first raped and murdered white girl. And he lived a block away from each of them. They, the police, didn't say, "Hey, maybe this guy did it." No. They had their confessions of the retarded boys. Sat in jail for 30 years. Went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court denied review. Scalia said this is a heinous crime. Just because a crime is heinous doesn't mean somebody did it. This is a heinous crime. They're black. They must have done it. This is the poison that is in the United States. And don't think that a Supreme Court justice who has taken an oath to preserve the Constitution is exempt from being completely and utterly stupid and utterly immune from the poison. You can actually count the Supreme Court justices who have taken the oath and completely switched into a strict constitutionalist. You can count them on one hand. All the rest fall in line with whatever they were doing before, whoever they owed favors to before. Finally, they applied forensic evidence to the case and found that the 2 boys, now old men, were nowhere near the site. And it was the DNA of the man a week later who had raped and killed another little white girl. Little white girl. What does that have to do with Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson went to court. That's what it has to do with it. He was convicted in court. That's what it has to do with it. Remember I said the policeman said, I can get you on anything. You can literally walk out your door, lock the door, and I can arrest you for rape. Nobody's been raped. There's nobody around. No victim has even come forward, but I can arrest you for rape and you'll go to jail for rape. I can arrest you for child molestation and you'll go to jail for child molestation. Why? Because you're black. People, normal white people, don't get it. Regular white people don't get it. They just don't get it. They have no idea what's going on. They have no clue. Oh, you're arrested. That must mean that you did something wrong. That must mean because I have the powers that be tell me that black people are evil, black people are violent, black people are criminal, that it must mean it's true. It must mean it's true. People are so convinced that this kid walking down the street is gunned down by a policeman, and they say, well, the kid must have done something. He's big. He must have tackled the policeman. He's big. He's black. He must have done something. The victim, lying in a pool of his own blood, must have done something. You don't get it. You don't understand. And these people say, Kumbaya, let's just hold hands and sing Kumbaya. You don't get it. The worst. They're trying to divide us. You don't get it. It's open season on black people. It's modern warfare on black people. And the cream of the crop is the black man. Let's hold hands and forget about race. Let's all stick our heads in the sand and maybe the Federal Reserve will crash. Let's stick our heads in the sand and maybe Obama will just say, I did a bad job. Let me just leave office. That'll happen, right? Let's hold hands and forget about race. As much as you want to forget about race, the powers that be don't want to forget about race. It's open season on black men. So what did they get out of Mike Tyson? They got a clip, a soundbite of Mike Tyson cursing out this bastard on live TV. That's what they got. So he's double convicted. Now he's a raving black man because black men can't be angry without them being a monster, a baboon, a gorilla. You can't disrespect black men and they react accordingly. And you see nothing but the black man being raving. That's what you get. We need to live in our own communities, by ourselves, with our own businesses, helping ourselves economically. That's what we need. We need to stay away from the white community, period. We need to be like the Asians. We need to be like the Jews. I mean, the Jews that live in their little neighborhoods and never come out and never speak to anybody else. That's who we need to be. But let's not be segregated. You already are. People already are. The people who are segregated and keep a low profile are the most successful groups in the United States of America. Mike Tyson has a hit show. They call him to do an interview and call him a rapist to his face. And I go through all of the reviews. Mike Tyson went crazy. Mike Tyson's a lunatic. A big baboon was wild on a live TV show. That's what they got. We need to leave white people alone. We really do. We do. We need to just go by ourselves, keep a low profile, raise our boys. It's all about the men in the black community, okay? It's open season on the black man. It's all about, we need to concentrate. We need to lay our hands and pray for the black boys. Pray for the black teens. Pray for the black men. And while we're praying, give them a job, open up a business, do something real. When you get done praying, do something real. If you really believe in God, you believe that he gave you the power to do stuff on your own. There is no magical angels that float down and pay your bills for you. Huh? We need to get off TV. If a cop comes up to you, say, do you have a warrant for my arrest? Do you have a warrant to get in here? No, then I will carry on. Unless you have a probable cause to stop me, I will carry on. That's what we need to do. We need to go and be, well, you're hiding. You don't understand the system. Black kids are being murdered in the street by police. The very police who are supposed to protect the black kids. Murder. Shut up with the damn let's all sing Kumbaya. Go to hell. You don't understand the system. This is the now. I'm a practical person. I'm not a Kumbaya person. So they got their soundbite of a black man cursing out a TV host. They don't have a clip of the TV host disrespecting, peeing on Mike Tyson, spitting in his face. I saw one white person said, how dare he disrespect Mike Tyson like that? And Mike Tyson acted appropriately. So appropriately and so gentlemanly as to not to hit the guy. How about that one? But the real reaction is to sue that damn entire news station, that entire broadcast station. Sue the hell out of them. Sue them. That's what you do. That's the real game. Understand the game. Should Mike Tyson have hit that guy? Tell me in the comments. Thank you.
An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.